Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. It's 4:30. Time for the Be Encouraged program at 4:30 p.m. here in the Northern Virginia area. And those of you who are around Northern Virginia have lived in this area, especially if you are big football fans for high school sports, you may have had an opportunity to see this next guest we're going to have on play at Fairfax High School. And we're going to have him come on because he's got a new performance center down in Richmond, maybe opening one up here in Northern Virginia. You never can tell. He's helped out with several of the teams up here in Northern Virginia, including those Westfield Bulldogs, and who seem to win all the state championships. But first, let me bring in a few things for you guys to see. As always, we'll get right back with you momentarily.
Check this.
Welcome back to More Joy Media presents Be Encouraged. I'm your host, Lee Bailey, and I've got my good buddy, scheduler, superstar, intern to the great Congress people, Tura Arsala. He's got breaking news. Tura's going to be an intern up on Capitol Hill. I'm so excited for you, Tura. I know this is your big dream.
Thanks, my friend. It's going to be exciting. But the reason I'm here today is because I've been looking forward to this for the past couple days and weeks after I told Lee. Today we have a very special guest. I'm excited to introduce Mr. Nate Daniels. He started his own performance center in Richmond, Virginia, and he actually played professionally for the XFL. And he started writing his new book, which we're very excited to have him talk about.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you, Tura, so much. I appreciate you, buddy. Nate, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. So you were at Fairfax. Were you a wide receiver and a cornerback at Fairfax or a safety?
Yes and yes. I played defensive back and wide receiver, kick returner. They moved me around a lot, kept me busy. So
yeah. In high school, I know. Whenever the good athletes got to play like 4 or 5 positions.
Yeah, it was a great time.
until you can't. You got to go over to coach. I got to get some water.
Yeah.
All right, sit out, get a drink of water, and get the hell back in there.
You got it.
Coach Verbanek, he's the man.
Legend.
And he's had you helping him out over at Westfield. I just put it together.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I put that together. I heard you were you did. Now, do you have like a mobile show, as it were? I know you just opened up your fitness center in Richmond, but you kind of have a camp or something that you do. Is that what happened?
Right. Well, I've got the facility here in the Midlothian area, Richmond metropolitan area, and I do some things or outreach as far as going to different locations, as far as on campuses, whether it be high schools or middle schools. The majority of our performance stuff is done here on site. We will have teams and individual athletes come here and also do small group trainings as well. And I had helped Coach Verbanek out, like coaching one of his passing leagues back in the day. And I also worked with a couple of his superstars, Eddie Royal. I'm sure everybody remembers.
Where is he now? What's he doing now?
He's in Northern Virginia somewhere. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to Eddie in years, but
he was doing so good in the pros.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like,
Yeah. It happens. But
he didn't get cut, did he?
I'm not sure how it actually ended. He played for the Bears, played with the Broncos.
Yeah, he played
San
great
Diego.
for them.
So, normally receivers by about 7-year mark, it gets kind of tough for skilled guys or defensive back receivers. So, but he had a great run.
Those young legs come in, right?
Yeah, they do. And they're cheaper as well. So, that helps.
Sure.
And then I worked with Sean Glennon as well, which was a standout at Westfield's.
Now, is Sean still playing?
No. Sean's done his younger
his
brother
is right.
Yeah, his younger brother Mike Glennon is still playing.
That's good. Yeah,
in the NFL. Yep.
That's cool. Did you ever work with Mike?
No, I never worked with Mike. Worked with his older brother, but followed Mike's career at NC State, and then obviously in the pros now. So we're all proud of him, Northern Virginia guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you were at Fairfax, remind me, you graduated. You're a '99 alumni from Ferrum.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So that means you were in Fairfax. Yeah, the 94, 90 when Annandale won their 2 state championships.
Right.
And Mo Daniels, right? That's where I was getting all confused earlier this week. He said, "I've got Nate Daniels." I was like, yeah, I love it. And then I didn't even think. I put his name with your name in right away.
It happens more than you think.
I don't doubt it. Believe me, I went online and looked for Nate Daniels. I saw you, and I said, okay, well, where's Mo, but not Mo. I was going, where's Nate Annandale Nate? And I'm looking all over the place, and there's a million Nate Daniels. Mm-hmm. So, I bet you run into that a lot.
Right. Definitely. So I was there from early 90s and graduated in 95. So my junior and senior year, Annandale won their state championship. And my senior year, we were Division 5 champion, Northern Virginia champions, and they were Division 6. So we both went to states that year. It was an awesome year. We had an awesome run as well our senior year.
Who did you all play?
We played in the states. We beat in the regional championship West Potomac, and then we moved and we lost to Patrick Henry of Ashland, which had a bunch of pro guys that came off of that team, and college guys. But they were a heck of a team. We were up 10-7 at half, and that size just got us in the second half. Yep.
Okay, well that's cool, man. Getting there is the battle. That's the battle. We followed obviously several teams from this area to the state championships with Channel 10 Sports and Fairfax Sports Network, and we had some really big time teams. I went to Robinson's. We followed them one year, and of course you're friends also with Chris Warren, but I wasn't working with him when Chris Warren, and they didn't go to the States that year anyway.
Right.
But he's, he of course had a great career in the NFL.
Chris is phenomenal.
Until Warner came along and beat all his rushing records at Seattle because he had him. He was the man.
Oh yeah, Chris.
He was Seattle's running back, and then Curtis Warner, whatever, came along and broke all the records in Seattle. So, so talk to me about you now. When you went to Ferrum.
Yes.
Did you go to Ferrum because of the playing time? You were going to be able to get playing time, and that was your choice because of that?
Yeah. So there was a multitude of reasons. One big one is I wanted to play 2 sports. I actually wanted to play 2 sports. So I was a Division I talent on the football field, but a 6-foot dime a dozen guard in basketball. Again, I was a good athlete. I was a good player, but I wasn't a Division I basketball player by any means. Right. I was also a musician. I was a trumpet player, and I wanted to continue. I actually minored in music and wanted to continue that as well. Awesome. So all those factors combined, and the ability to play right away were all deciding factors. And there was a coach there, Coach Harper, who went to Chantilly High School, was a defensive coordinator there, and we just had an awesome relationship. Him being a Northern Virginia guy, we had awesome conversations, and he just made me feel right at home. And I just loved it from the get-go. So it gave me an opportunity to do a multitude of things that I wouldn't have been able to do at a big school. Student government, class president, playing my trumpet, and all that good stuff. So it was a good deal for me.
I was a drummer in high school, and didn't have the knees for playing football, unfortunately. Right. Well, I tried at freshman, and then both my knees got racked up. But I tell you that I played drums in the drum line. We used to tease people. We used to say, when you can't make the band, you play football.
I've heard that one too.
At Robinson, of course, we had this 300-member band we were state ranked and everything there too. Yeah,
but my junior year about Robinson, y'all had Van Dyke. Do you remember Van Dyke?
I think so.
Kenyon Burns at Robinson.
Sure. I remember.
So they were number 1 in the Met, and we shocked the world and beat them at Robinson. that year, which was probably the biggest win Fairfax has ever had, beating the number 1 team in the Met, because y'all were a powerhouse at that time. You're supposed to run the table and take state that year.
Yeah, they probably try and take you. It probably took you guys a little light. You know, they've done that in the past too. They've gone in, taken on teams, and we're like, no problem. We got this. When I was in school, I graduated in '84. I'll date myself.
That's all right.
When I graduated in '84, Robinson, it used to be TC Williams was hitting it because only one team from our region went to states. And so, or no, I'm sorry, one team from our district made the regions.
Right.
Okay. So, are you plugged in?
Yeah, it just unplugged there.
Okay, I could hear myself.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, there we go.
Right.
Anyway, I went away on a retreat or something that weekend that we were playing West Springfield, which was supposed to be a easy walkover, and it was like the last game of the season. And we had tied TC Williams earlier in the season, 7-7, at TC, and that was before the daytime games that TC had to play. And that was because of Robinson, by the way. They had a knifing at the Robinson parking lot.
Wow,
the
I
last
heard
time
about that.
TC Williams had a night game at Robinson. It was also 2 TC people. Had nothing to do with Robinson or fans. Just 2 TC fans got in a fight, and one of them anyway.
Gotcha.
So, it was one of those weird things, and then they weren't allowed to have night games anymore, only day games.
Right.
And now they can have away night games. They just can't have home night games.
Right.
That's neither here nor there. We're talking about you right now. So I just wanted to talk about that because that was quite an interesting deal that we had going on at Robinson. And anyway, West Springfield, last play of the game, Robinson went up by 4 and they kicked off the ball. Joel Dempsey kicked off, and that little West Springfield sucker ran it all the way back for a touchdown and beat Robinson. And so TC went by themselves into the regions, and we were just all
it's tough. People get pumped up for that Robinson game when they, y'all have to be on your best every game because Robinson circled on everybody's schedule.
Everyone's schedule used to be.
Times change, but
things have happened in this area. There's Westfield is they're the crowned champs that have just dominating. People are moving their families out to that area so their kids can play out there. Definitely. I work security, but I'll tell you, speaking of Ferrum, I'm going to let you talk, Nate. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
This is all good stuff for you too. I hope that you can take this with you, but
definitely
one of my stories, I work safety and security in high school. So I get to deal with some of the kids that are at risk and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I remember I was talking to a young man who his punishment was by his coach. He was a baseball player and he got in trouble. So his baseball coach said, who's a PE teacher, you go out in the outfield and you pick up rocks in the baseball field. I want you to go out and pick up all the rocks that are out there in the baseball field. And that was his job. So he was out there doing that. And he had a couple people supervising. I went out there and was watching. And I told the kid about Chris Warren.
Yes.
I said, listen, Chris Warren was an outstanding smooth at Robinson, they called him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was an outstanding prospect. Went to UVA, was brought to UVA, played for a football season because it didn't matter grades the first year.
Mm-hmm.
But then his grades suffered and they kicked him off campus and said, nope, you're not playing anymore. And literally he was playing basketball, pickup basketball at Robinson's gym in the summertime with, I don't think, any prospects. He was pretty much washed up, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was going to start working at the local Pizza Hut or something like that or whatever. And the coach from Ferrum came to the gym and said, hey, do you still want to play football? And Chris was like, yeah. He says, if you still want to play football, you can come play for me. And he said, well, I don't got no money. He said, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. We'll get it taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get you some loans and stuff like that. It won't be a problem. He said, if you want to come, but you have to get your SAT up in order to play.
Right.
You got to do your SAT. So we're going to have to bust our humps. I'll have, whatever. And I give it. And this is what I tell this kid. And I'm going to tell you something. He could have easily just said, nah, never mind. He could just give it up because he already had his self-esteem shot by getting kicked off the UVA team.
Oh, yeah. Right? He was hurt.
Everyone said, oh, he's a dummy. That's why he couldn't play there. All that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But he had the fortitude to put it together and go to Ferrum, in 3 years, break every NCAA 2 division, whatever the hell Ferrum is. I'm sorry, I don't mean it that way, but I know Division 2.
Yeah. No, they're Division 3. They're Division 3.
Division 3.
They had just moved from JUCO when he got there in the late 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, they had just switched over to NCAA.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, well, Division 3, and but he broke set every record as running back.
Yes,
now, of course, it's been beaten since, and I know a couple of players that were just played for 4 seasons. He played for 3.
Yeah.
Anyway, he got drafted from a Division 3 team in the first round.
Right.
Which is phenomenal, you know. And I'm sure they looked at because he did lead the ACC in kick and punt return yardage when he played at UVA.
Right.
So a lot of people don't realize that either. But I'm sure he was on several prospects' little waiting lists. But Nate, let's talk about you. Yeah. I just it's a motivational thing for Chris. I'm going to definitely have to have him come on the show because he just wrote a book. You've written a book. Tell me about your book.
Yes. So, I've written a book. It's called, here you go. So you want to be a pro?
You want to be a pro?
Yeah. It's my first book. It's a children's book about a little boy named Devin and his family and basically his pursuit to achieve all of his dreams. He decides very young what he wants to do. Just like a lot of us athletes, we catch that passion and something sparks our interest, whether it's an iconic player, an iconic team. We get a jersey, a poster, and we start dreaming and we get our ball and the rest is history. So it really follows his story from a young boy, as he comes up through the ranks in junior ball and high school. And it has a lot of life lessons along the way that I tried to make sure I had teachable moments for kids that weren't, were easy to digest, that could hopefully inspire them to not only play sports, but make sure that they're well-rounded and bring more to the table than just sports, to understand that there's more to sports than just the game. There's things and life lessons that you learn from playing, whether it be goal setting, determination, tenacity, teamwork, and all of these things. I wanted to put it in a way that was easy to digest and fun, that kids could read and their parents could have something to kind of use as a teachable tool, because sports is a tremendous vehicle to reach kids. I know it reached me. And so, it's been great. It reached number 1 on new releases on Amazon for children's football books. It's still going strong. So I'm really proud of it. If anybody wants to grab a copy, it's on Amazon right now. You can type in "So You Want to Be a Pro" or Nate Daniels, and it'll pop up there for you.
And also, you have your fitness center. You have your own website. Can you buy? Is there a shop on that website?
Yeah, so if there's a bunch of different ways you can get a hold of me as far as reaching me or looking through the shop. Instagram, it's at Daniels Sports Performance. On Twitter, Nathan Daniels DSP. And then the website is danielsportsperformance.com. And any of those, you can go on there. You can see the store where you can get the book.
Or a shirt.
Get merchandise.
Yeah, there you
hats, whatever you like. Or contact me if you have any questions about anything as well. So,
yeah. Where's my hat?
And you might have to get one in the mail. You'd look good in the colors. You'd look good.
Well, I like those colors. Actually, my wife teaches at West Springfield, so got the orange going on at least there. So definitely. No, I worked at Falls Church and at Jeb Stewart, which is now Justice High School.
Yes,
and 2 of the most diverse schools in the whole county.
Yeah, Jeb Stewart especially.
Very diverse.
Formerly.
Formerly
known as Justice.
Formerly known, Justice. Yeah. Now, but they have some of the richest people in the county, in the country, living in that jurisdiction, and some of the poorest. So it's really an interesting mix of children, young people at that school, and it works because they all seem to have pretty good respect for each other. We have some gang issues, but not in the school. They, of course, they affect what goes on in the school sometimes, but they don't bring it into the school because they know there's no tolerance. But
right.
But for the most part, though, it's a fantastic atmosphere at that school. So
Definitely.
It's really cool, really neat. So tell me about Daniel's Sports Performance Center.
Right. So Daniel's Sports Performance, it's a sports performance facility. We train athletes of all ages, normally starting about 9 or 8-ish and all the way up through professionals. So we train athletes of all sports on strength and conditioning, speed, agility, and quickness, basically helping athletes maximize their athletic ability, get them stronger and faster. And then and that's athletes of all sports, males and females. And then also with football, do position specific stuff as well. So work with wide receivers, quarterbacks, defensive backs. I specialize in the passing game, but also work with second level guys, linebackers, and running backs. And it's also an opportunity for me because obviously I have a tremendous passion for the game, and I was blessed and had a pretty good career as I came through and had amazing coaches and mentors that provided guidance for me and allowed me to pursue my dreams. And now I get the opportunity to help these young guys and girls do the same. And so there's nothing I enjoy more, I'm more passionate about other than playing myself and helping these guys chase after the same goals and dreams I did. And it's not just about the athletic stuff. I also try to make sure that I drop the advice on them and guidance and knowledge so they can learn from my story and learn from stories like Chris, which again, Chris and I, obviously, Northern Virginia, Ferrum. We had the same agent, Rick Schaefer. When I signed coming out of college, I stayed at Chris's house in Clifton, and when he was with the Redskins, stayed at his house and then went to see him play with the Redskins. So I try to share all that information with them. So they've got kind of like a blueprint. If you want to be great, obviously it takes a whole lot of talent. You can't leave that out, but then it takes even more work. A lot of these kids see the end result, and they think that people just showed up there, and it doesn't happen that way. There's a lot of work before that overnight success happens. Well,
and as you just said too, there's definitely kids who say they hear everybody say, "Work hard enough and you can do it." And that's not necessarily true. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm all about telling kids that too, because they can't all of a sudden not make it as hard as they've worked. And then, it just brings them to a point of depression. And it's like, no, be ready, because more than one person has the ability to say yes or no to your career.
Right.
And more than one thing physically has a yes or no to your career. As you said, you obviously had the agility, had the abilities that you wanted to hone.
Right.
But there was something there already from when you were a child or whatever that you learned how to, make quick decisions on which way to turn, your reflexes.
Right.
I know I was a goalie in soccer at a pretty high level, and I was good at it because my reflexes were really good. I mean, I could kick out and knock a ball loose, if somebody's trying to shoot. And I was pretty good at stopping anything that came at me, which is what elevated me. But of course, it didn't elevate me to the point where I didn't have the physical attributes or I didn't have the work ethic.
Right.
That's true. I had the physical attributes. I didn't have the work ethic to go into the college level. I mean, I played select soccer and all that stuff back in those days, but and I enjoyed it. It was so much fun. It was great being a goalie. Definitely. I loved being the captain of the team really back there and moving everybody around.
Definitely.
Our team was very successful. But again, I definitely was not going to probably make it to the college level, maybe college, but definitely not up to, at that time, would have been wanting to go play for my favorite division, Bundesliga.
Yeah.
But
oh, wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the issue that young people need to understand is, people tell people you can do anything you want to do as long as you work hard. That's not true. Yeah. And you can have a really good shot at it.
Right.
You should work really hard. If you want to become your dream, you need to work really, really hard at it, and you'll have a better chance than if you don't.
Right. Definitely.
But there's too many people in the world that say that, I'm not going to cast aspersions on them, but, who have, unfortunately, too much pull, especially in this professional sports leagues. As you're going up, there's too many people that if you just look at them sideways and they decide that you're going to be, then they can make that happen. Unfortunately.
Yeah, no doubt. And I agree with you. And everything you're saying, I talk to my kids about that all the time. You got to have a lot of talent, man. The amount of people that can say that they've been paid a check to play a sport,
right?
It's so few and far between. I'm talking about at any level, even AA, AAA, Canadian Football League, NFL, whatever league. The amount of people who can say that are very few. So you got to have a whole lot of talent. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. But with that talent, in order to make it, you've got to put in a lot of work because there's so many people with that dream. There's so many people going after it. You've got to be able to have a perfect fusion of those 2 points with the talent and the work ethic.
Yeah. Would you say, though, there's also people who have the talent, but they don't have the work ethic. So, that's what puts you, like you just said, there's probably plenty of people who with the work have enough talent to make it. Yeah. But they don't put in the work, and therefore they don't make it, even though they might have had, it's that guy who played in high school with you and used to just beat the snot out of you in basketball or whatever. But you had more fortitude. You had a better work ethic. And that guy, while he's still a good baller and everything and can play, he's kind of didn't want to put forth that work. And so there you go. Off.
There's so many talented guys that should have gone farther or at a higher level or had more success, but they're just missing the intangibles. And the intangibles are the thing that don't take talent. And those are the pieces that most people are their downfall. Is those things that, schoolwork, being on time, putting in the work, making good decisions off the field, or off the court. Those are the things that can deter you. And a lot of people, there's a lot of talented people that never made it just because of those intangibles were missing. Yeah. And it caused them to not make it.
Sure. I mean, the intangibles are huge. I know I've told a number of people who are like, Mr. Beal, I'm just going to go get my GED, and I'm like, dude, what makes you think you can get GED if you don't want to? He goes, well, I can do high school. I just don't like going to class. I do good on my tests, which I know kids like that. I was one of those kids. I still graduated from high school, but I did great on tests. My grades sucked because when I went to high school, homework was a big part of your grade, 70%. Right. I didn't do homework. Right. But I listened in class. I participated. I did great on tests. So 30% of my grade was straight A's. Yeah. But unfortunately, that doesn't do it for you. And that's what I tell the kids at school. I said, you know what high school is about? High school is about learning to deal with difficult situations.
Yep, it surely is. And what I tell kids a lot too is you've got to do things that you don't want to do in order so you can do things you want to do. Life is not about just going around doing everything you want to do. I wish I could tell you that, but it's not. The majority of things we do in life are things that we have to do so we can do the things that we want to do. Right. And the earlier you learn that as a kid, the better off and further along you're going to be. And it just takes a little bit of mental toughness, fortitude, priorities, and a little bit of guidance from somebody to kind of, let you know this early on and go from there. Yeah.
Yeah. There's very few kids who go get their GED that I'd want to hire to work for me.
Right.
Just because they haven't put in the fortitude to get through the bullshit. Excuse my French. That's what I tell the kids. I said the kids, high school, for some people who are very smart, like you probably, is a bunch of BS and repetitive crap that you don't want to deal with. You know? But you have to learn to deal with the BS and the repetitive crap because that's what life is like. Mm-hmm. And if you know how, you can make your life better if you put in the work, just like you keep saying, but you got to put up with the crap because if you don't put up with the crap, tough. I mean, it's the way of life. You better know. I tell the kids, look at your teachers. Do you think your teachers come in here every day ready to go and wanting to do something? No, man, but they do it.
They enjoy their breaks more than the kids do.
Well, that's exactly. It's on. Oh my God, my calendar in my house used to have the big hearts on spring break and stuff. My wife would put them up there. Yay!
Yeah,
no
doubt.
It's time to break.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so that's it's been such an exciting ride. I love watching sports. We've loved covering sports. If you saw our little opening thing, hopefully more Joy is going to start doing sports because Fairfax Sports Network doesn't do their thing anymore.
Right.
And there's none of that anymore. There's no one covering high school sports in this region on a regular basis like there used to be. And so I'm hoping to bring that back and get that going again. So maybe we can get you come up and be a color commentator for us sometime.
I would love to. Just how to get in contact with me. I'll do it.
All right, Nate. Well, Nate, dude, we're at the end of our time. Is there anything else you wanted to pass on before we cut?
No, I'm just glad to be on. Other than, like I said, so you want to be a pro. If you're looking for a way to reach kids, this is a tremendous way to do it. I've got great reviews on it. It's on Amazon, and if you have anybody in the Richmond area or you want to come down here and get some work, I'm here. Daniel Swartz Performance, and that's pretty much it, man.
Do you
Virginia representative?
Do you work with VCU players and those guys?
I've worked with one VCU soccer player, but I've worked with a bunch of Richmond University soccer players.
Okay, Spider guys.
So, yeah. So, and I've got one of my athletes that are with the Cardinals right now, Zane Lewis. He just left a couple weeks ago. He's a defensive back, went to Air Force, and got a bunch of local college guys with Virginia State and Virginia Union and a variety of colleges, Ferrum, colleges all over the state. That come home that are based in Richmond. It's been a tough time for everybody, obviously, as you know, with the sports and not knowing what's going on. Everything's kind of pushed to the spring right now. So it's been a lot to make sure they stay focused and use it for this time for what it's for, is to get better, not to be down or be sad or depressed because you're not playing. Use this time to get better, get stronger, get faster. And like I tell my guys, when they ring the bell, you'll be there to answer it, and you'll be a better player for this extra time.
That's right.
So, yeah.
All right, man. Nate, thank you so much, man. It's an honor having you on. I appreciate you more than you know, and look forward to having you back on many occasions. Maybe we'll do a round table of Virginia sports or something, and you can chime in and get in there with us. All right?
Absolutely.
All right, Nate Daniels, ladies and gentlemen, Fairfax superstar. We never even talked about the XFL.
Yeah.
The Rock.
Hey, big money.
Are you thinking about getting back in there?
No. You see how quick I said no? Yeah, I'm done getting hit. It's their turn to get hit now. Young guys' turn to get hit.
So switch over to D-back and you get the hit.
Yeah, man. Hey, I hit. I'm done. I've hit and been hit. I'm good. I'm good on
all
this.
All right. Well, good luck in your retirement. Good luck to Daniel's sports performance, and good luck to you personally as well, sir. And I hope that book, So You Say You Want to Be a Pro, hits the bestsellers. All right?
I'm hoping so. Thank you so much,
buddy. Sure. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was him, Nate Daniels, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us today.